Hey guys, welcome back to Technical Alphas. As a continuation in C programming, so we are looking at the language called C. We're going to be looking at this question saying, use the table below and we grade students, okay? We're going to be creating a grading system in C programming language, where a student who gets 80 to 100 gets an A, 75 to 79, B plus, 70 to 74, it's going to be a B, okay? 65 to 69, a C, 60 to 64, C plus, and then 60 to 64, C, 59 to 55 to 59, D plus, 50 to 54, D, and then 0 to 49, it's going to be F. Now, these are going to be different conditions. So this is going to be calling for an if statement. So you're going to create a system in C programming language that's going to enable us to grade students according to the marks that they have received. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my IDE. So in this case, I'm going to be using dev C++ for C. So I'll come here to File, New, then I say Project. Okay, I'm going to choose Console Application, C Project. I can make this default and let's call this Grading. Okay, let me say okay. So we're using if statements for this case, but you can use both if and switch statements in our project. But in this case, I'm only going to be using if statements. And in this case, my syntax has been brought. This is going to be generated. I don't need this, so let me remove this. So this is a basic C programming syntax. Now in this case, we are going to be dealing with marks, so we need somewhere where marks are going to be stored. So I need to declare a variable and I call it mark or marks. It depends on what you want. So I'm going to say int mark. Now the next thing we are going to do after declaring a variable for marks, we are going to print on the screen, please enter your mark. We are going to ask the user to enter the mark. So we're going to say printf, okay, printf, enter the mark. Let's create some space and then we terminate with a semicolon. So here, after creating enter the mark, or after printing create enter the mark, it's going to be projected on the screen, and then the user is going to be asked to enter the mark. Now we have to allow the user to enter the mark that is going to be graded. So what we do is scan for the mark. Now remember, when we are scanning, we use what we call the format specifiers. If you don't know what we mean by this, go back to my course of C programming from for absolute beginners on Technical Alphas, and then you'll understand everything we are talking about today. So in this case, the format specifier for integers is %d. Okay, %d. Then I'll say comma. Then I'll say ampersand. Then the variable name, which is mark, without spacing. Okay, then I put a semicolon. So after this, if I execute this, it will enter the mark on the screen, and then I'll have to enter the mark, but that mark has to be an integer. So if I say compile and run, then I say save, here is my program saying enter the mark. Now what I have to do is enter any integer. So if I enter 45 and I press enter, then the project will end. But I need to grade this mark that has been entered. Where does 45 fall? Remember, we said from 0 to 49 it's F, which means someone has failed. So this should project that your grade is F, or you have failed. So I have to grade the mark that has been entered. So the first and second step was to declare a variable, which was mark. Then I've asked for the user to enter the mark. Now I've scanned for the mark. Now I have to grade for the mark that has been entered. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and I say if. Now I'm going to stay with the variable if mark, which is the variable, is greater or equal to 80. Is greater or equal to 80, and the very mark. So I can use and, or I can use this ampersand, and the very mark is less than or equal to 100. Okay, this is where I'm going to say printf. Okay, printf, then I'm going to say your grade is, now this is going to be A because that was the first condition. So I'm going to say your grade is A. So let's run this and see if someone is in 80. Okay, so if I say 86 and I press enter, they say your grade is A. Okay, now we have to cater for all other conditions, as it's saying here 75 to 79 it's B plus, so then 70 to 74 like that. So let's continue with the next. So what we are going to do is we are going to come here and say else if, then we are going to say mark. So I'm going to copy all this. I'm just going to change the numbers, the range. So else if, then I paste. Now here we're going to start with 75, and then this is going to be 79. Okay, 75 and 79, and then we open up here. So this is going to say printf. Now this is going to be your grade is B plus. Okay, B plus. Then we terminate here. Okay, then the next condition is going to be 70 to 74. So we copy this, come here, paste. So this is going to be 70 to 75. So this is going to be 70 to 75. Okay, so this grade is going to be B. Then the same thing will be done for the next case. Okay, which is going to be 65 to 69. 65 to 69. So this grade will be C plus. Okay, C plus. Okay, then we shall go for C, which is 60 to 64. Okay, 60 to 64. So this is going to be 60 to 64. Please pay attention till we reach the last one, because people get confused when we are dealing with the else statement. Okay, so this is going to be C. Okay, then next we are having 55 to 59. So I'm going to copy this, and then I say down here, enter, I paste. Now here I'm going to do 55 to 59. Okay, 55 to 59. Okay, so this is going to be D plus. Okay, then we're going to have 50 to 54. Okay, so I go and press enter, I paste. So this is going to be 50 to 54. 50 to 54. Okay, so 50 to 54 is just going to be a D. Okay, now 50 to 54, 55 to 59, 60 to 64, 65 to 69, 70 to 75. Sorry, this has to be 74. 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 100. Okay, so now we are remaining with the condition of 0 to 49. But remember one thing, the last condition should be with else. Okay, so 0 to 49 is not the last condition. What do I mean by this? If we say if someone ranges from 0 to 49, that should be a failure. But what if someone enters any integer which is 101? It will still be allowed in the system, but it's not under grading. Grading ends on 100. Okay, so that should be rendered as invalid. So here I'm going to say else if, right? Else if, then here I'm going to say 0. If mark is greater or equal to 0, and the mark is less than or equal to 49. Okay, less or equal to 49. So this should be failed. You have failed. Okay, you have failed. So this is a good message. Now what if someone enters an integer which is not in the graded ones? It should be invalid, because above 100 we still have more integers, but they are not under grading. So I'll say else. Okay, this caters for every other condition remaining. So I say printf else printf, then I'll say invalid mark, invalid mark. Okay, so this is single, let me use double, so this is going to be invalid mark entered. All right, then put a semicolon at the end. I save this. So let's run this. So we're going, we check, we have down from 0 to 49. Grade is F, which means failed. So let's test that out. So if I come here, say execute, compile and run, okay, the project is going to run. So I'm going to test each and every level or phase of the conditions. So if I enter 43 and I press enter, you have failed. Okay, that will tell me that I have failed. So let me execute this, compile and run again. Now we check between 50 to 54. So if I enter 53, I press enter, your grade is D. Okay, then after that, let me check from 55 to 59. Okay, let me check that out. So I'll say 57, press enter. So my grade is D plus. Okay, so this is how it continues until all of them have been done and all of them have been finished. Okay, so this is a very simple school grading system in C programming language. Hope you subscribe the button, and please find out the link to the full course in the description. Shalom. Hey there guys, this is Technical Alphas himself. Thank you for watching the video to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe that subscribe button and help us grow. Well, thank you for everything you've done for us, and see you in the next video. Shalom.